Okay, guys, we are going to do some problem solving by division. You did some of these last year. We're going to do a couple like you did last year, and then we're going to take it one step further. All right, so we have Sean and his family chartered a fishing boat for the day. Sean caught blue marlin and an amberjack. The weight of the blue marlin is 12 times as great as the weight of the amberjack. So right there, it tells me I'm comparing the blue marlin and the amberjack. The combined weight of both fish was 273. So if I set this up, I know that A was 12 times more than B, which was only 1 times more, that equaled 273. So I want to know how much each fish weighed. So what do I need to find? I need to find out how much each fish weighed. So to me, that's the information I need to know. What do I know? That Sean caught a total of how many pounds of fish? That's my total. I know my total, but I don't know how much each fish is. But I do know that the blue marlin was 12 times as great as the weight of the amberjack. I'm going to use this diagram as a way to help me. So when this is, I know the amberjack had one weight. And I think that's the hardest thing is when you compare, you have to remember that the one has to have one weight. So we have this one weight, and then we knew the marlin was 12 times more, and they totaled this. So what we have is, how many groups do we have? Well, we have this 12 plus 1. So we have 12 plus 1 is 13. So we have 200. So we have 13 times, I don't know, equals 273. Well, the only way I know how to figure this out, I could go in my head and go 1 times 1 times 2, but the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide, and it's 2, carry my 1, drop down. So 21. So that means each one of these boxes is worth 21 pounds. So I would put 21 in each one. But that still doesn't tell me how much each fish weighed. I know that the amberjack weighed 21 because it's 21 times 1 because he's only worth 1. But the blue marlin, we know that was 12 times more. So I have to do 252. Now I've answered which each fish weighs. So I've answered the question. I set up a diagram. You set these diagrams up last year to show that each one has its own unit of weight. The diagrams are great, but I like to move on to using just a table like. So I'll show you how that works right here. Jason, Murray, and Dana went fishing. Dana caught a red snapper. Jason caught a tuna with the weight of 3 times as great as the red snapper. And Murray caught a sailfish that weighed 12 times as great as the red snapper. If the combined weight of the 3 fish weighed 208 pounds, how much was the tuna fish? So I only really have to answer the tuna fish, but guess what? I have to figure it all out together. So what do I need to know? How much was the tuna fish? What information do I have? I know there was a red snapper, which equaled 1, because he's the one we're comparing everything to. We know that the tuna was 3 times, and we know the sailfish was 12 times. How am I going to use this? Well, I'm going to use a diagram and to figure this out. My diagram is going to look just a little different with the boxes. I'm just going to say the red snapper equals 1 times as much. The tuna equaled 3 times as much. And the sailfish equaled 12 times as much. But I still don't know the total weight. But what do I know? I know all of them together was 208 pounds. And if you see the system I'm setting up, so I know how many combined squares would have I made. I would have done 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 times, I don't know, equals 208. Once again, I'm just going to divide 208 divided by 16, 3. So each one of these is worth 13. Now I just have to multiply. That one's 13. My tuna fish times 3 is 39. And I don't need to figure this out, but I'm going to just because I want to know if my answer is right. It's taking it one step further and double checking my work. And I'll show you how that works. 156. If I add all these up, I should get 208. So I have 9 plus 9 is 18 because I combine these as a 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. So there's my 8, carry my 1. 5 plus 3 is 8, 9, 10. There's my 0. There's my 1. It all equals. So my answer, my tuna fish, is here is 39. How can I check it? I can multiply it, or I just checked it by this and I got the same answer. Both ways. Now, I don't care if you draw the squares or if you just set it up this way, whatever way works for you. I would try this way because it takes less time to draw the squares and it's doing the same thing. I want you to do this with your partner, and they change. If we've got even more fish in here, that doesn't matter. You won't have any trouble doing that. You just set it up here. It says draw the boxes. Okay, Paula caught a tarpon. I'm going to show you how it was 10 times as great as the weight of the permanent fish she caught. The total weight of the two fish is 136. So I'm just going to put the tarpon and the permanent. Well, we're comparing it to this one. So this one is equals 1 times, and this one is 10 times. My total is 11 times, I don't know, equals, the total was 132. 11 divided by 132. Okay. Please continue, answer the questions, and then they get to have a number 3, work it over here. Talk about this one. If it's 11 times more, what would that do? See if you can figure that one out. Work on those two, please. And then I would like you to do all of this page, even though you can't see it. All of page 143, 142. 142, I would like you to do with your partner. And all of the homework page, please. Ask me for help if you don't understand that.